The Galactic Council chamber buzzed with barely contained amusement as Admiral Zhang Wei approached the central podium. The human delegation's request for recognition had been denied 17 times over the past decade, but they kept returning with their quaint persistence. Around the circular amphitheater, representatives from the 12 dominant species whispered amongst themselves in languages that predated Earth's entire recorded history. "Honored Council," Admiral Zhang began, her voice steady despite the obvious disdain radiating from the assembled aliens. "Humanity formally requests admission to the Galactic Defense Coalition. We offer our fleet and our—" A sound somewhere between a snort and a hiss erupted from the Vorthak delegation. Supreme Commander Kesethul's 6 arms gestured dismissively, his chitinous exoskeleton gleaming under the chamber's artificial suns. "Your fleet, human? We have observed your collection of ships. 12 vessels. 12. My personal escort contains more firepower than your entire species can muster." Ripples of laughter echoed through the chamber. The crystalline Nathani chimed their amusement in harmonious frequencies, while the gaseous Eldari pulsed with colors that clearly conveyed mockery in their atmospheric language. Admiral Zhang's jaw tightened imperceptibly, but her voice remained level. "Numbers do not always determine effectiveness, Supreme Commander. We've studied your technologies, your tactics." "Studied?" The word dripped with condescension from Kesthul's translator. "Child species, we were traveling between stars when your ancestors were barely discovering fire. The hegemony of Kethmore alone commands 3,000 dreadnoughts. The Nathani crystal fleet spans 17 star systems. What could your primitive vessels possibly offer?" The hegemony's ambassador, a towering reptilian creature named Vashitar, leaned forward on his hover platform. "Perhaps we should demonstrate to the humans exactly how outmatched they are. A simple naval exercise. Our newest battlecruiser, the Eternal Dominion, against their entire fleet." More laughter. Admiral Zhang felt the weight of centuries of human struggle, of the species that had fought their way from caves to the stars despite every obstacle. She thought of the shipyards orbiting Luna, where engineers had worked without sleep for months, perfecting designs that the galaxy's elite dismissed. "Without consideration, we accept," she said quietly. The chamber fell silent. Even the Eldari stopped their color shifting. Vashitar's golden eyes narrowed. "You accept? All 12 of your ships against one of ours?" "One ship," Admiral Zhang corrected. "The UES Indomitable, our flagship." The silence stretched until Kesethul's laughter broke it, a harsh chittering sound. "This grows more amusing by the moment. Very well, human. We shall arrange this demonstration. The battle will be broadcast across all member worlds, so they might witness what happens to species that reach beyond their capabilities." 3 days. Later, in the contested space near Kepler 442, 2 vessels faced each other across the void. The Eternal Dominion was a monument to Kethmore engineering, 5 kilometers of armored hull bristling with plasma cannons, quantum torpedoes, and shield generators that could repel the fury of a star. Its crew numbered in the thousands, each warrior bred for conquest across a dozen generations. The UES Indomitable was smaller, barely 800 meters, and looked almost fragile in comparison. Its hull was smooth, unmarked by the aggressive spines and weapon ports that characterized military vessels throughout the galaxy. The bridge crew numbered only 23. Captain Sarah Martinez stood at the center of the bridge, watching tactical displays that showed energy readings off. The charts. The alien ship's shields alone drew more power than most small cities. "Captain," her tactical officer called out, "they're hailing us, audio only." "Put them through." Vashitar's voice filled the bridge, amplified by the cosmic distances between them. "Human vessel, you have one opportunity to withdraw with whatever dignity your species possesses. Surrender now, and we will ensure your destruction is swift." Captain Martinez smiled. Not the diplomatic smile she'd learned in officer training, but the fierce grin her grandmother had worn while flying crop dusters against impossible odds during the resource wars. "Negative alien ship, we came here to show you something." Then prepare to learn the price of arrogance. The Eternal Dominion opened fire. Streams of plasma that could vaporize asteroids streaked across space, followed by quantum torpedoes that bent reality around their path. The barrage was enough to destroy a small fleet, and it struck the Indomitable head-on. The human ship vanished in a sphere of blinding energy. Across the galaxy, on worlds whose names humanity had never learned, billions of beings watched the tactical displays. The demonstration was exactly what the Galactic Council had expected: a swift, decisive end to human presumption. But in the Sci-Fi expanding cloud of dissipating energy, something moved. The UES Indomitable emerged from the plasma fire completely unharmed. Not a single scorch mark marred its hull. It had taken the full fury of the galaxy's most advanced weapon systems and simply ignored them. "Impossible," Vashatar whispered over the comm channel. "Our sensors show no shield emissions. How? You want to know our secret?" Captain Martinez's voice carried across the void with quiet confidence. "You've spent 10,000 years perfecting weapons and defenses, advancing technology to levels we could never match. But you made one fundamental error." The Indomitable began moving forward, its engines producing no detectable thrust signature, yet accelerating beyond anything in the galactic databases. "You assumed that defense meant stopping attacks. We took a different approach. We learned to ignore them entirely." The human ship's hull began to shift, revealing patterns that hurt to look at directly, geometries that seemed to fold space around themselves in ways that violated three-dimensional physics. "Phase technology," Martinez continued conversationally. "We don't block your weapons. We simply exist in a space where they never occurred. Your plasma passes through dimensions where we never were. Your torpedoes explode in realities we've stepped aside from." The Eternal Dominion fired again, desperate volleys that would have cracked planets. Each shot passed harmlessly through the Indomitable, as if it were made of phantom light. "You've spent millennia perfecting force," Captain Martinez said as her ship closed the distance. "We perfected evasion. You learned to hit harder. We learned not to be there." The human vessel reached optimal range and fired its first shot, a simple kinetic projectile, launched at a significant fraction of light speed. But as it traveled, reality seemed to bend around it. And what struck the alien battlecruiser's shields was not one projectile, but dozens, each existing in slightly different dimensional phases, each hitting from a direction that shouldn't have been possible. The Eternal Dominion shields, designed to stop energy weapons and conventional projectiles, had no defense against attacks that came from 17 different angles of reality simultaneously. The great battlecruiser's hull cracked open like an egg. Emergency broadcasts flooded the communication channels as the alien crew abandoned ship. The Indomitable made no move to pursue the escape pods. There had been enough demonstration for one day. Captain Martinez opened a channel to the Galactic Council, her voice reaching every world, every species, every being that had dismissed humanity as primitive and weak. "This is Captain Sarah Martinez of the United Earthship Indomitable. We formally request reconsideration of humanity's application to join the Galactic Defense Coalition. We believe we have something valuable to contribute." In the silence that followed, Admiral Zhang allowed herself a small smile. Humanity had finally earned its place among the stars, not by matching the galaxy's strength, but by transcending the need to. The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath, waiting to see what these strange new beings would do next.